Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. I hope it was a pleasant and refreshing lunch break. So, now, before we proceed on to our third technical session, I would request respected Professor Dr. PG Chakraborty sir to felicitate respected Dr. Kollan Rudra sir with the certificate. Thank you, sir. We now move on to our third technical session. So, ma'am, umi chole galenga. Now we resume the proceedings of the seminar with the technical session 3 centered on the subject of fundamental importance to urban sustainability and public well-being. The theme of the session is water quality of Kolkata, issues, challenges and solution. The session will be chaired by one of the most eminent and respected Dr. Kalyan Rudra sir, the former chairman of West Bengal Pollution Control Board. He is one of the region's leading expert in river and water management for over 4 decades. He has dedicated his work to understanding the complex river system of Bengal. He recently completed a highly impactful 12-year tenure as chairman of West Bengal Pollution Control Board. His contributions to public policy, including his involvement with National Flood Management Core Group and Ganga River Basin Management Plan. He has authored pioneering works, including the rivers of Ganga Brahmaputra Delta. He presently serves as the adjunct professor at Vidyasagar University. I would also like to introduce our distinguished speakers for this session. Respected Dr. P.K. Sigdar, Professor, Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, and Dr. Arijit Majumdar, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, Jadavpur University. I now respectfully invite respected Dr. Kalyan Rudra sir, the distinguished chair of the session, to kindly take the place on the dais. I now invite our first distinguished speaker, respected Dr. P.K. Sigdar sir, to join us on the dais as well. I also request our respected second distinguished speaker, Dr. Arijit Majumdar sir, to kindly join us on the dais. I would request our respected Dr. Kalyan Rudra sir to felicitate Dr. P.K. Sigdar sir. I would once again request respected sir to felicitate Dr. Arijit Majumdar sir. Thank you, sir. I now respectfully request respected Dr. Kalyan Rudra sir to take over the proceedings and guide us through the technical session 3.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I had been a teacher, so being a teacher, I understand the most difficult class is the class next to লাঞ্চ ব্রেক। সবার ভাত ঘুম পায়, ছেলে মেয়েদের জাগিয়ে রাখাটা ইট ইজ এ ডিফিকাল্ট টাস্ক। সো বাট টু স্পিকার্স হিয়ার আর মাই ওল্ড ফ্রেন্ড Dr. Pradeep Shikdar and Horijit Majumdar. They will speak on water quality of Kolkata issues, challenges, and solution. My friend Dr. Dhruvajyoti Ghosh wrote that Kolkata is a hydrologically subsidized city. My another old friend Shukanta Chaudhary, in a recent paper which I reviewed, he said Kolkata is an amphibious city. And we have hydrological advantage. One river, what we call along the west, what we call Hooghly River, and for abstracting water, it can supply even untouching the groundwater, but we touch. And we have another river on the east, what we call Kultigang, to discharge the wastewater. In between there is East Calcutta wetland. Water management has several issues. Water has a science, water has a economics, and water has a politics too. So holistically, we'll have to understand what is the right way to manage water in a city which is largely built up. And Pradeep Shikdar, my old friend, teaching in the oldest business school of India, am I right? He's basically a geologist, but dedicated his life. আমি জলের সার্ফেসের ওপরেরটা দেখেছিলাম, ও গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটার নিয়ে, মাটির নিচে যেটা দেখা যায় না ওটা নিয়ে কাজ করেছে। অ্যান্ড in fact, in groundwater hydrology, he is, I have two teachers. One is SP Sinha and other is Pradeep. SP Shuri Molla আমার থেকে একটু বড় আর ও আমার থেকে একটু ছোট, ফলে but I learned a lot. And Orijit is a basically geographer. কবে পাস করেছো তুমি জানো?
মাস্টার ডিগ্রি 2007।
2007 যে বছর আমি চাকরিটা ছেড়ে দিই টিচিং এ। ফলে এনিওয়ে ওরা by ideas and by management issues they are far ahead of me. Both the speaker will, I understand, speak on different issues. Pradeep will plunge into the deeper aquifer, and I understand the arsenic, fluoride, and salinity contamination, etc., etc. And Orijit will speak on rainwater harvesting, as I understand. Both are important. আমার মনে পড়ছে, I was reading a book a few days back. It is the Rivers of Empire, long back published by Oxford University Press, on American water management. Donald Oster, and famous American historian, তার শুরুতেই তিনি বলছেন, to write history of human society without putting any water in it is to leave out large part of the story. Human experience had never been so dry. সভ্যতার ইতিহাস হচ্ছে জলের ইতিহাস। যদি জলের ইতিহাসটা বুঝি তাহলে আমরা সভ্যতার ইতিহাস বুঝতে পারবো না। Even in this hydrologically subsidized city, we find water crisis sometimes, particularly in month of April, the northern periphery of Kolkata, Sodhpur and Belghoria, etc., area, the groundwater level goes down to such a level that well does not function. In the south, in Badaipur and beyond that, we have problem of salinity. And we have also problem of arsenic here. In spite of the fact this city receives 1800 millimeter of annual rainfall, and there is hardly any system of storing this. Earlier, Kolkata had been the city of pond and diggis. If you look at the place name of Kolkata, দেখবেন যে কত পুকুরের নাম জড়িয়ে আছে, ফুরিয়া পুকুর, শামপুকুর, ঠাকুর পুকুর ইত্যাদি ইত্যাদি। হ্যাঁ, there are more than 4000 ponds and diggis in Kolkata, which earlier played a very important role, but subsequently we relied more and more on water abstracting from river and also groundwater. Some of the high-rise building of Kolkata largely depend on, I mean the greater Kolkata, adjoining Kolkata, largely depend till date on groundwater. But groundwater is not infinite, it goes on. And I will also like to learn from you, the groundwater table is not supplying the water only, but it is also a load bearing layer. And I was thinking that how much load we are adding every day into this city. তুমি যদি কোনোদিন, আমি ছেলে মেয়েদের বলছি, একটা স্টাডি করা যায় যে রাস্তাটা ইন্ডিয়ান ইনস্টিটিউট অফ আইএসআই এর পাশ দিয়ে কলকাতায় ঢুকছে, ওখানে আমরা 24 ঘন্টা দাঁড়িয়ে দেখবো যে কটা সিমেন্টের লরি ঢুকলো, কটা স্টোন চিপসের লরি ঢুকলো, আর কটা রড নিয়ে লরি ঢুকলো, এবং দ্যাট ইজ লোড ইজ বিং অ্যাডেড অন এ নিউলি বিল্ড ডেল্টা, যে ডেল্টার সয়েল এখনো কনসলিডেট করেনি। ফার্স্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট, উই হ্যাভ ক্রিয়েটেড এ ভয়েড, যে লোড বিয়ারিং লেয়ারটাকে আমি সরিয়ে নিয়েছি, অ্যান্ড অ্যাডিং ওভারলাইং লোড। ফলে এখানে গান লিখে চলে গেল তো, এক ধার থেকে গিলছে শহর যা আছে গেলার মতো, উপকণ্ঠের সবুজ গুটিয়ে গুছিয়ে বাড়ি উঠে গেল কত, কৈখালি আর পাটুলি গিয়েছে গিয়েছে বোড়াল পেটে, জমি সদাগর আবাদের জমি খাচ্ছে সমানে চেটে। এইদিকে বাঙালি বড় অসহায়, রবীন্দ্রনাথ বিনে বাবু কহিলেন বুঝেছ উপেন এ জন্মি লইব কিনে। তো কলকাতা টেন্ডস টু গ্রো, Kolkata tends to grow eastward. Initially, it grew north-south, and now it has a tendency to grow eastward. So, we have land crisis. But we must keep in mind that hydrology is the most important component of this sustainable living. I believe both the speakers will highlight on these issues and throw light how we can make our water management more sustainable. With these few words, I now hand over this podium to my friend. You being the senior of the two, you are giving the first chance. But keep in mind, there is another chairman behind it. I believe we are right slightly behind the time. 25 minutes will be fine.
We have to close at 3.
Okay. So please keep in mind. আমি নিচে যাচ্ছি,
ওখানটা বসে দেখতে পাবো।
হ্যাঁ সেই
কারণ বুঝতেই পারছেন তো, আমি একটা সাবজেক্ট আমাকে দেওয়া হয়েছে যে আমি বলেই যেতে পারি। তো তাই জন্য আমি থামিয়ে দেবেন, আমি ওখানেই থামিয়ে দিয়ে আবার লাস্ট।
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে একটা কাজ করি আমরা, এখন 2:15 আমরা 3 মিনিট করে দিই।
দেখি একটু ইয়ে করা যায়। Thank you, Honorable Chair, Professor Rudro, my colleague, Dr. Orijit Mujumdar, Dr. Dhar Chakraborty, other distinguished members of the dais, faculty colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, Professor Dhar Chakraborty, for inviting me to this important session. And it's much more pleasing for me to attend this because it's on Kolkata. And Kolkata has been, I can say it has been my bread and butter, because I have worked on this city hydrology or groundwater hydrology for the last more than 3 decades. I started my work. I took over from my teacher, Professor Shaha and Professor Biswas, and then my students carried over. And in 2024, my last PhD student submitted his PhD in and around this area. And most of my talk would be, surrounding their work and my own work also. So, if one wants to understand quality, Kolkata's groundwater quality, one has to understand the subsurface hydrology. That's very, very important. And how the built-up area increased over time. These two things actually, has controlled groundwater, the resource potential, the groundwater flow, and also the groundwater quality. So my talk would basically, first I'm going to talk about the critical concerns for groundwater due to rapid urbanization, and then I'm going to move into the Kolkata city and the context of this urbanization and quality. And so I'm going to talk about subsurface geological setting, because unless, as I said, until and unless you understand the geological setting, you won't be able to understand this invisible resource. Groundwater is an invisible resource, and the best part of groundwater is that we can talk about groundwater and nobody is going to protest because nobody can see what is happening under the sheet. But people are not going to talk about surface water, especially in front of Professor Rudro. Okay, because we can see surface water, we can see what is happening, but groundwater we really cannot see. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about subsurface geological context, and then the trend of urbanization, Kolkata's water supply, then the hydrogeological consequences of urbanization, then groundwater quality, then particle tracking or the pollutant tracking, some groundwater modeling that I have done, and then approach to groundwater management of Kolkata. So let's look at the critical concerns for groundwater due to this rapid urbanization across the length and breadth of our country. If you look at the cities, various metro cities, see Kolkata, Ghaziabad, everywhere the groundwater level or the water or the piezometric surface or the water table is falling rapidly. If you look at Kolkata, it's declining from 2000, a maximum groundwater level is 20 meters fall, and that's a substantial fall. Next, so all these cities, there is a major fall in the water level, groundwater level. Then let's look at the stage of groundwater development of major Indian cities. Now, what is stage of groundwater development? It's very simple. It's basically the ratio of the groundwater abstraction that we are doing that's divided by the net availability of the groundwater. And if the stage of development is less than 70%, we are in a safe zone. If it is between 70 and 90, we are in a subcritical phase. And if it is between 90 and 100, it is in a critical stage. And if it's beyond 100, then we're in an overexploited stage. Okay, now if you look at the various cities, you see Delhi, Chennai and Bengaluru, they are all in an overexploited state. That means whatever groundwater water is being recharged into the system, more water is being abstracted. And if you look at Kolkata, it is 93% is the stage of development. That means we are in a critical stage. At in any time we are going to cross this overexploit, we will reach into the overexploited stage. And okay, then if you look at Pune, it's safe, and Ahmedabad, it is subcritical. So therefore, with this backdrop, what are the critical issues in any urban setup? The first one is aquifer depletion. Of course, if there is a fall in the water level, you're going to have aquifer depletion. You have decreased recharge, and then you have groundwater contamination. You have saltwater intrusion, and then you have loss of water in the distribution system through leakage from deterioration pipes and missing taps. And Kolkata is one of the cities where more than 38% of water is being lost in leakage. And then finally, it's land subsidence. I'm not going to talk about land subsidence. I've talked about land subsidence here, some few days back. Okay. So let's look at the area I'm going to talk about is it covers not only Kolkata city, it also covers Howrah, and it also covers the peri-urban area, because if you really want to understand Kolkata, you have to understand Howrah also. You have to also understand the peri-urban areas of Kolkata and Howrah also. Then only you can get an idea about the Kolkata city also. Now, let's look at the subsurface geological setting. Now, if you look at this map or this figure, see this is basically the clay line actually. Now, with depth, this is depth. Now, you can see this is the percentage of silt plus clay, and you can see it starts from 80%. So therefore, Kolkata city, you have 80% of clay mostly at the top of the geological sequence. Okay, but there are some areas in Kolkata where this clay is absent. And this is very, very important from the quality point of view. Okay. And then you have mostly gray clay at the top. And this gray clay is the Holocene clay. We call it the Holocene clay. And this, the thickness is around 15 meters. And then you have the brown clay, which is basically the late Pleistocene clay. Okay, and the late Pleistocene clay, it runs to about 40 meters depth. So therefore, on an average, 40 meters, and the upper part of this geological column, you have clay, and this clay actually basically protects our aquifer from the aquifer from where we actually abstracting water. Okay, now below that, you have this yellow sand up till around 300 meters. Now below this, you have 300 meters, the Pleistocene ends over here and the Holocene starts, and up till around 600 meters, you have this Pleistocene clay. Okay, so therefore Kolkata's aquifer is sandwiched between the upper clay, which is a maximum 40 meters, sometimes it's 50 meters also, and you have a clay at the bottom also. And one important thing when you have to understand is the color. The color of this clay and the color of the sand is very, very important. See, at the upper part, you have gray clay. And then below that gray clay, you have the brown clay or the yellowish clay or the red clay. I call it a brown clay. Okay, this brown clay is gray clay is soft, on which our city is actually, is there. But below that, you have this brown clay. This brown clay is very hard. It's practically impermeable in nature, so nothing is going to go through it. Okay, and then you have the brown sand. Now, Kolanda was talking about arsenic. Now, if you have this brown clay followed by a brown sand, which you have in Kolkata, the possibility of getting arsenic in water is minimum. Because there are many works which says that Kolkata is full of arsenic. I completely defy on that, and I said no. Okay, in a local area there is arsenic, but I'm going to come to that, why the arsenic is there. Okay, so this is basically the three-dimensional view of this subsurface geology. And this is again what I had discussed, this Holocene clay that is 15 meters, and then you have till 40 meters, you have this Pleistocene clay, and then up till, you have this Pleistocene sand, which is our aquifer, and then from there you have the Pleistocene clay. Okay. Now, the Pleistocene surface, this is also very important. So this is the Pleistocene surface. This surface over here. Okay, this surface is very important. Now, the Pleistocene surface, somewhere around 12,000 years back, it was not that flat. It was very undulating in nature. And this undulation can be understood by this clay isopack map. And you can see this white area, these white areas are interesting because this white area, the clay is either absent, you don't have the clay, you have fine sand starting, gray sand starting from the upper part, and it continues. Okay, and or it is less than 10 meters. Okay, so this is very, very important. We have to understand this. And this metro station, that metro rail, that the massacre that happened, the land subsidence that took place, because those who are in this construction field, unfortunately, they did not knew the subsurface geology. They thought that it is around 40 meters, it would be an average thickness. And so they were drilling at the depth of around 17, or that boring depth of around 17 to 30 meters. Okay, so that's a different story altogether. And along this Tolly's Nala, the upper clay does not exist or has thinned down. Okay, and similar places are also identified elsewhere in Howrah and Maheshtala and Boj areas. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now let's look at the trend of urbanization. See, 1985, the built-up area is only 27%. And now that increased in 2016 to 46%. And in 2019, it increased to 49%. And so therefore, there is a 22% increase in built-up area. So that means if you increase your built-up area, that means you need more water. As simple as that. And if you look at only Kolkata city, say it's 45% in 1985, and it went up to 72% in 2019. And all this at the cost of water bodies and greeneries. And also similarly, Howrah, it was 49% in 85 and 68% in 2019. Then now let's look at Kolkata's water supply. The actual water supply is around 2,000 million liters per day, or slightly above that. And the total water requirement is 1,245 million liters per day. So therefore, this 782.5 million liters per day, this is complete wastage of water. And that wastage, we can see, we keep our taps open. There is a leakage, underground leakage in the pipe, and we have the taps, all these taps, those are stolen. The stand post, you can see. And so therefore, the percentage of waste water that is wasted in Kolkata is 38.6. And that is tremendous. And now if you look at the groundwater development pattern, from 56, it was 55 billion liters per day. And at present, it is around 300 million liters per day. Although Calcutta Corporation, they have reduced their pumping, but the pumping in the peri-urban area has increased manifold with upcoming of this huge multi-storied building. Okay? So therefore, it's a 5.5 times in about 70 years. Then, what is the hydrological consequences of such, groundwater abstraction? Let's look at that. If we assume, this is all model derived, okay? If we assume that there is no pumping in the system, we are not going to pump any water in Kolkata and its neighboring area, then the groundwater flow pattern would be from northwest to southeast, okay? And another important thing, if you look at those numbers, 5, 5.5, 6, these all has positive numbers. These positive numbers basically indicates that the piezometric surface is above the mean sea level. Okay, now let's look at 1985. 1985, more or less similar, is a north-south trend of this groundwater flow. And if you look at the northernmost part, this, the piezometric surface is at mean sea level, and as you come to a south, the mean sea level has, the water level or the piezometric surface has gone below the mean sea level, and so therefore you have a negative. And this, what I call, is an open groundwater flow system. Now, if you look at 1985, look at the groundwater flow system has completely changed. And what you see is a closed groundwater flow system with water coming from all directions, north, south, east, west, everywhere into this trough which has developed. This trough was not there in the 1985 scenario. This is your pre-monsoon and this is your post-monsoon period. See, the trough has basically increased. This is post-monsoon, I believe. Yes, this is post-monsoon. So you can see the trough, this is minus 8.5 meters trough. Okay. And similarly, 1993, if you look at the trough, the same trough, the size has increased. Okay. And now, if you look at, this is again a model derived. Now, if you look at the trough in 2016 pumping condition, then you can see the trough has increased manifold and it has actually gone beyond the city boundary on the eastern side. And also it has moved towards the western part, towards Howrah even. Okay. And this is the trough. The core of the trough is around minus 16 meters. Now, if we looked into a future condition, 2030, what would be the piezometric surface, the configuration. And what we found that the trough basically has further moved and the core of the trough has gone further down and it is around 19 meters. Okay. Now, if you look at this, the trough, which was defined, because that was 1985, it was defined by this 10 meters, minus 10 meters potential line. So that was 18.5. Then 1994, it is increasing, 2016, 428.3. And then in 2030, it would cross the 500. So this minus 10 meter. Okay. And now, this development of trough is basically because of this increase in the built-up area between 1985 and 2016. And the recharge areas of Kolkata has also changed. You had these recharge areas from the northern part away from the city, and now it has come closer to the city. So from what we have come to know from this modeling effort, decline of piezometric surface, expansion of trough beyond the city limit, stage of groundwater development 93%, water level may further drop by 1.94 to 2.2 meters by 2030, and sharp shift in the recharge areas from pre-pumping to pumping scenario. And the water level, these are some of the wells, the water level has decreased. And the groundwater flow, look at this is the groundwater flow in 2016. And the fall of the piezometric surface is taking place by about 34 centimeter per year. Okay, and that's a huge amount, 34 centimeter, because the whatever groundwater you're abstracting and whatever inflow, it's just not balancing. And then another important thing that is happening is the change in the aquifer behavior. What I said previously, that the groundwater is under a confined condition because you have an upper clay. But look at some of these places where you have these arrows. Aquifer is a confined one when the piezometric surface should be above the base of the confining bed, that is above the base of the clay bed. Now, in Kolkata, there are some areas where the piezometric surface is below the base of the confining layer. That's below the base of the clay. And so therefore, in all these areas, these are various sections which are there in that figure over here. The piezometric surface is below the base of the confining bed. So therefore, the aquifer in these locations are behaving as an unconfined one, although it is, lithographically, it's a confined situation. Okay. And this Bowbazar incident took place because the aquifer was actually behaving as an unconfined one. Now let's come to groundwater quality. See, let's look at the compliance with Indian standards. See, TDS 18%. Okay, fluoride 56%, iron 28%, manganese. We do not talk about manganese in Kolkata and the surrounding areas. Manganese is a big problem. We never talk about manganese. We talk about iron, but never about manganese. But look at it's 36% only. Okay, and then you also have iron, that is 94%, arsenic 94%, 6% is beyond the permissible level, but that is also a problem. And also lead, lead is 96% is the compliance level, so 4% is out of compliance. Okay. Now, if you look at the iron concentration, TDS, chloride, nitrate, and sulfate decreases with increasing depth. And TDS and chloride is more than the permissible level up to 140. Below 140, it actually goes down. The concentration goes down. Very high TDS and chloride are found at shallow level in peri-urban areas of Kolkata. And nitrate concentration is higher in Howrah and peri-urban areas of Kolkata. So this is the comparison from 1996 to 2019, and you can see the TDS in around 82% of the samples have increased. And metal, this is iron and manganese concentration. Manganese concentration, you can see, look at the maximum concentration is in this zone between 80 and 140 meters. And manganese can decrease more gradually with depth beyond 80 meters compared to iron, and indicating that manganese reduction precedes the iron reduction in the redox front dynamics. First, there is manganese reduction, and then you have iron reduction. And iron concentration, which is more than 10 milligram per liter, is basically indicates, some reducing and agency which is there, and possibly it has come from this APCL factory, and where it produce Paris green containing acetate or acetic acid, and this acetic acid or the acetic acid is basically this reducing agent. Then again, arsenic maximum concentration again at 80 meters. And 13 samples beyond this, all these samples are surrounding the ACPL site near Tolly's Nala. And all these metals and the metalloid, you can see these are near this Tolly's Nala or in areas where the clay thickness is less than 10 meters. Okay, and this is again spatial. Again, it's similar. It's either in the eastern part. Then you have hazards of iron and manganese. You have long-term hazards, short-term. See, manganese, it can affect the brain growth of infants. And in adults, it can harm the nervous system. Okay? And look, this is the distribution of arsenic. All this is the Tolly's Nala, you can see, and this is the ACPL site, which is basically now the NSHM Knowledge Campus. Okay? So therefore, from here, this arsenic, so this arsenic in Kolkata is not a geological origin, it's all anthropogenic arsenic. And these are the areas where you can possibility of getting arsenic. And this is why you have arsenic, because in the Tolly's Nala, you do not have this upper confining clay. Again, another important thing is wastewater contamination. We have signs of wastewater contamination even at a depth of around 140 meters. And if your samples, chloride, this is chloride by bromide by chloride, okay? If your sample plots over here, that means there is sure sign of wastewater contamination. And if it's over here, the high bromide is basically coming from organic degradation. Okay, and if you look at these lines, this is the marine mixing line, and this is the sewage line, and this is the salt line. Okay, and if you look at the depth, with depth, this wastewater contamination is basically decreasing. And if you look at the distribution, again, all along these areas in the eastern part, and mostly in the Tolly's Nala. And chloride as an indicator, because you do not have this upper clay, so there is always a movement, and we all know what is the condition of the Tolly's Nala. And one important thing is that groundwater from peri-urban areas of Howrah and Maheshtala is yet to be impacted by wastewater. Then again, nitrate and sulfate, they are also indicators based on that ratio actually. And again, if you look at the water quality index, so this you have, very unsuitable water. The green areas are the suitable water. So if you look at Kolkata city, it's poor. But in the peri-urban areas, it is more or less, it's better condition. This is again hydrochemical phases. We have 8 hydrochemical phases, which can be divided into freshwater, blended water, brackish water. And if you look at these red areas are basically the brackish water, and the green ones are the red area, are the fresh water. So, and these are very limited in, okay. And see, look at this. This is 1996 map, which I had prepared. And this is again the 2009 map, which was prepared, 19 map, which was prepared. And you can see, look at how the faces have changed from, fresh in the southern part or the southwestern part. Now you have different types of water. And this is because of the flow of this brackish water into this freshwater zone. And then what is the mechanism of this groundwater chemistry? One is evaporation, another is rock weathering. And you have some samples which are outside, so therefore it also indicates ion exchange. So therefore 3 processes are actually going on to form this groundwater chemistry. Okay. And so again, these figures also states that, that you have this. So, and particle tracking from East Kolkata wetland, from the Tolly's Nala, the particles are going to travel down, and it is going to travel to around a depth of 120 meters in boroughs number 8 and 10. Okay. And I have found some contamination in these boroughs also. And okay, this is again from outside areas, and the particles are going to move. From these industrial areas, particles is going to move down to a depth of 160 meters within 50 years' time. Now, so what is the approach to Kolkata's water management? So first one is augmenting water resources by rooftop rainwater harvesting. My friend is going to talk on that. And also artificial recharging, using treated municipal wastewater for industries, peri-urban agriculture and construction, reduce, reuse and recycle of water in industries and buildings, regulating groundwater extraction at municipal and residential levels, and supplying treated surface water from River Hooghly, constructing piezometers in housing society with automatic water level meter connected to electric display board, because that is going to make an invisible resource visible. Then mandatory wastewater treatment in housing society and recycling of non-drinking purposes, using micro-irrigation system for watering landscapes in housing society and industry. We do not do that. We just sprinkle, we just throw water or spread water. Then curbing water theft through illegal connections by introducing water meter, creating district metered area DMA for leak detection, systematic channelization of runoff into stormwater drains, no development of new well fields in an area around the city, especially in the floodplains of past channel. This is very, very important. Then reducing wastewater infiltration by reducing pumping, as well as desilting and maintaining the course and banks of the Tolly's Nala. Then constructing green buildings that use less water. Then a program of regular water level and water quality monitoring of selective wells to serve as an early warning system for entry of contaminants in water supply wells. We lack in this again. We need to do this. Then developing a comprehensive city water policy that includes structuring and promoting the skills of personal institutions responsible for managing urban water supply, as well as encouraging community participation in waste management. And finally, rethinking of the commonly believed concept that water is a free commodity and one only pay for the delivery. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. I think I have overshot my time. Sorry.
Chairman of the session is very unfortunate fellow. খুব ভালো লেকচারও ইঙ্গিত করে থামাতে হয়। You have transcribed about 7 minutes.
Only. No.
So I believe floor is open for any questions. We can't take too many questions, but a few. Yes.
Thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Only one thing I wanted to know, you are talking about two types of clay in the subsurface. What are the nature of these two types of clay? First of all, in soil, particularly in surface soil, when we are talking about clay, it is this diameter is 0.002 millimeter. And apart from that, whether they are 2:1 or 1:2 layer, or they are having the plasticity and stickiness, these are the two properties of the clay. Now, can you tell me what are the properties of these two types of clay which are regulating the groundwater recharge as well as the
See, the gray clay, the plasticity is high. Whereas if you come to this brown clay, the plasticity is low. The permeability, if you so-called permeability or the hydraulic conductivity of the brown clay or the red clay, that is very, very low. Okay. The gray clay is much more sticky in nature. Okay, you can put it, you can roll it. But and another important thing about this brown clay is you have rootlets in brown clay. That means those are the trees which were there during the Pleistocene, late Pleistocene time. You can also still find the rootlets in this brown clay. Okay, and it's so hard, it's very hard to cut even. When the sample comes out, it is very difficult to cut. So that's completely impermeable.
Then if it is totally impermeable, then what about the groundwater recharge in this?
Groundwater recharge is taking place from the, from Barashat area, from north in Hooghly. There you have the sand. You have the sand at the upper part.
Is there any data in that particular place? What is the clay thickness?
There's no clay at the upper part. It's complete starts from sand. So what's happening, this Kolkata sand, which is over here, say you have the clay, this sand actually is going up like this. And this is basically the recharge area of Kolkata.
Okay. And one more last question.
And just to add to one more thing, if you date the Kolkata's groundwater, the date is going to vary from 5,000 years to 30,000 years, because that's the travel time of Kolkata's groundwater.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone? Anybody else? If not, I will invite Orijit to speak on. Orijit, sorry, Chairman.
Forward and backward.
Mouse নেই না ঠিক আছে অসুবিধা আচ্ছা এটা খুলে নেবো একটুখানি করলে সব থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার thanks for everybody who have organized this. I have also been a part of the organization committee, and thanks for inviting me. Well, I have a question to Professor Sigda sir, but I will ask you after that, because in that case I will be wasting my own time. And while I was a researcher in back, I completed my research during 2009 to 2014. In fact, I read a lot of papers from Sigda sir Professor Sikdar and Sahu. These were the name of the papers, and a lot of papers came over there. So I'll start from where Sir ended. So, though we are quite used to the term rainwater harvesting, but I have modified it a little bit, and I have named it as water harvesting. And whatever I'm going to speak over here, actually, I work in areas outside Kolkata. And my primary area of research is in groundwater hydrology and especially in alluvium. So something was, Sir was telling, kind of those kind of things. And another thing is that whatever I am going to speak today, that has got a proper objective of my presentation. That is to have a very easier understanding of a science so that that can be implemented. The implementation part is very important as because everybody know that we can do rainwater harvesting, and so I'll be talking on what are the problems of that and why we cannot sustain on that particular thing. And another thing is that the least cost implementation of the projects. Every time it happens that SAD and both the SADs are from administrative backgrounds. So every time it happens, you can say better than me, that we go to such offices with a huge sum of projects that give me this amount and I'll be doing that. But that becomes very ineffective, in fact. So something which can be done with least cost and something which can be done using very basic sciences, that is more a thing which can be propagated, which can create an awareness, and even students can do that at their own institutes and home. So since I named it as water harvesting, I've divided my frame into spring water harvesting, flood water harvesting, and rainwater harvesting. Now, spring water harvesting is something which I have not done, but I will just skip through the slides about spring water harvesting in Darjeeling. This was done with the Britishers. And another thing, whenever I do any kind of research, whatever I try is to convert any kind of liability into an asset. Whatever is the liability of that particular situation, I try to convert this into an asset. So right now I am doing a work in Darjeeling. I mean, one of my scholars is doing. And in Darjeeling, the hotel prices depends on the cost of the water they provide you. Whatever amount of water they provide you, the hotel prices depends on that. So I'm working on that particular situation in Darjeeling, that how can we restore that situation in a better way, because Darjeeling is basically by water balance, it's a water positive area. That means you receive a lot of rainfall, but you're going to store that. So this was done by the Britishers. This is the Central Lake, which provides the main water to the Darjeeling town. I'll just skip these things. So this was the South Lake. This is the North Lake. These are the twin lakes, in fact. So this road separates the two lakes. So what do they do actually? So these are the conduits. There is water from the joras of the springs that comes through this. They're intercepted over here. That means the water is being stored over here. And under gravity, that particular water is being transmitted to the town. So the fundamental concept that the Britishers used 100 years back is that to transfer the water under gravity, they don't use any kind of energy, no electrical energy, nothing. So the liability was the slope. They converted that into the assets. And they provided the total water to the city. This was done in 1910. So the population projection was there, I mean, under consideration, but two problems took place. One is that, so these are the pipes through which the water goes into the city. One is that the tourism in Darjeeling flourished a lot. And second is that the number of jodas, when they started doing that, it was 30, and now it has been reduced to 18. So the total water that is accumulated in the Central Lakes, that reduced. So the total amount of the water or the per capita water available in Darjeeling, that reduced. So this is what the Britishers has done 100 years back. Now it's flood water harvesting and Hooghly. So this is my own work. So this is the area where I have done my research. So it's a block, it's Pandua. So that particular block vector is being placed over a Landsat image. And from the image, we can identify that whoever, as we know that remote sensing is something that we are doing daily work. So from this image, we can identify that this is an area which has got almost no built up area. No built up area means built up area maybe 3%, 4%, 5%. So, yeah, the pointer. Mouse or pointer. Anyway, the right side river is the Ganges and the left side river is the Damodar. So I did my PhD on this particular block, and I did a groundwater budgeting on this particular block. The first question and the issues that came up was that why I was not working on a river basin and why I was working on an administrative area. The fundamental thing is the Damodar river basin does not have a concrete wall where it does not allow the water to the Ganges, neither does the Ganges. So the river from one water basin, that is the groundwater, migrates to another. So it's better whenever we are doing this kind of work, it's better sometimes, I'm not saying always, for micro level planning, we can go for blocks, we can go for districts so that we can have the administrative units as the planning units. So this is a list for image. So this is the classified or the supervised classification of the particular area. And if I go by the classification report, the total built up area of this is 3.70. Well, this was done in 2011, but still the concept doesn't change. So most of the area is covered by agricultural land, agricultural fallow, etc. But the interesting thing is this particular block, as I said just earlier, regarding the stage of groundwater development, this is a semi-critical block. Semi-critical block means that whatever the water situation exists over here, that if the recharge is 100%, we extract more than 70% of the groundwater, and there is either a pre-monsoon or a post-monsoon fall of groundwater level. So I did a budgeting for this particular area, and I found that if 100 units of water enter into the system, only 54 units of water is being extracted by the people of that particular area, or even by deep tube wells, shallow tube wells, whatever. So if 100 units goes in, 54 unit is being abstracted, but still there is a continuous fall of static water level for each consecutive years. So that was a problem. The findings of the research says that water is migrating towards the south, towards the Kolkata conurbation, where with the people in the urban area are abstracting the water, and due to the geological slope, the water is actually migrating to the Kolkata conurbation area. So I'm concerned with the water harvesting, and if we look at this particular area in that image, this is a least score image. This is a sandy exposure. When I have been to field, so this was the area, and if you can look at that particular measuring tape, it amounts to 18 meters. So I was just standing beside the GT road. Beside the GT road, it was because beside the GT road, and when we measured the depth of that particular area, it amounted to 18 meters. The depth of a normal pond is around 2 to 3 meters. So it was 18 meters. It was in the monsoon, and there was no water over there. So what is this? This is basically a natural recharge zone. Natural recharge zone. বাংলায় আমরাকে বলি বালির খাদান অনেক জায়গায় বালি জ্বলা হয়েছিল. So there are a lot of areas like this in Hooghly and Howrah where the water, whenever it falls over there, or whatever water comes, whatever rainfall happens, the water straight away goes into the aquifer. Something like this. If we look at that recharge area, it looks like this. It's absolutely not an ideal condition, but it's something like this. The water goes into the aquifer straight into. So when I classified that particular image with the spectral reflectance of that sandy exposure, it came like this. I digitized the canals. The DVC canal has a very strong network. And what I suggested that every late August or September, even I don't know, this is the El Nino year. Every year in the late August and September, in the districts of Hooghly and Howrah, we have a lot of flood, a lot of flood. I cannot say that I can stop the floods, but what I can say that the discharge of the flood, whatever is coming, if it is channelized through already built-in infrastructure, you don't have to build any infrastructure. The infrastructure is already there. The DVC canals are there. Just divert that water into those recharge areas. Two things are going to happen. The intensity of the flood is going to reduce, and the groundwater is going to be recharged automatically. You don't have to make any expenses. And I have proper plannings for this. But anyway, that does not, I mean, I wouldn't have executed that. So this is basically the aquifer system of that particular area. The upper part with the deep color of the clay, and the middle part of the sand. So this is the aquifer system. And if we cut off any part of that clay position in the lithologs, the total water comes in. Actually, that particular area, this area was something like that. So it acts like a natural recharge area right now. I have conducted an electrical resistivity survey just 2 months back over there for calibration of my data. Still, it remains over there like that because nobody is going to use that particular land in any way other than a wasteland. So that was flood water harvesting, and now is a rainwater harvesting. Do I suppose I have 5 minutes time, sir. So rainwater harvesting, Kolkata. Well, this is a photograph taken from the Google. I'm leaving it. So this was when I was in Women's Christian College. I did something. There are 3 tanks over there. You can see there are 3 tanks. Each tank is of 500 liters. So my college was a 3-story building. So this was the top floor. It measures around 11 meter by 18 meter. So what I did, I collected all the water from, I mean, the rain fell. I just attached a pipe. From there, it came to this tank. What happened? I have to move over here. It comes to the tank straight away. So while it was coming to that tank, I just placed a wire gauge from where the water was being collected at the rooftop. So the wire gauge would have prevented the leaves and everything to penetrate inside this pipe. So it comes over here. This was wrongly done by the plumber. These chambers have to be connected over here at the upper portion so that there is a normal decantation and normal sedimentation of water. So water level will come up. It will be transferred over here. Again, it will come up. It will be transferred over here. So in the process, what will happen? There will be a normal physical sedimentation of water. The important challenge that I have to take over there is how many number of tanks should I implant over there. If I implanted much number of plants as required, then what will happen? The water will not flow to the final tank and not go into the system. And the last tank was being connected. The last tank was being connected with a pipe where it took it directly to the cisterns of the toilets in the first floor and the ground floor. The major challenge, another thing that major challenge comes into in rainwater harvesting is that whenever you will ask anybody to open a knob, your project will be in vain. Your project will be in vain. So what I did, I took a T kind of thing. So when the water will be available in these tanks, and the T was designed in such a way that if the municipal water supply connection is 1x, I mean 1 unit, then this pipe will be 2 units. That means just like the valve in our heart. Okay. So whenever there will be availability of water in these tanks, the municipal supply will be automatically closed. And whenever this will be without water, the municipal supply will automatically run the water itself. So from here, Women's Christian College is a very small college. Okay. We were able to collect at least 3,20,000 liters of water per year free. And the total cost of this project was 24,000. Total cost of this project. But again, the system has to be implemented very perfectly. We have to implement that on the basis of assured rainfall and the maximum rainfall. You have to also consider the maximum rainfall, because sometimes it happens that it rains heavily. Okay, for say 9 hours, 10 hours just before the pujas it happened. So in that case, what I did, that there was an extra channel connected to directly to the groundwater. I mean, directly to the ground, so that if there is any excess of water, that will go directly into the ground. So you have to use this water for non-potable purposes, because if chemical filtration is required, it will be very costly. So Sarah's already shown this. So this is the land use land cover map of Kolkata, just showing that the total built-up area is increasing. So this is a ward-wise percentage of the built-up area. Sometimes this touch 100. So this is a sentinel data, 10 meter by 10 meter data. So it's not a very coarse data. So in few blocks of North Kolkata, it sometimes touches 100. So what I did, I mean, one of my scholar did, we planned that if we have to do this rainwater harvesting, so that was the architecture what I showed. So what to do if we have to do this in Kolkata? So we selected 3-4 things, 3-4 parameters: government colleges, government universities, government hospitals, large malls, hotels. I'll be presenting one over here. So this is the rainwater harvesting potentiality of the colleges within KMC. Only government and government-aided colleges. So there are a lot of colleges. The total amount that could be potentially harvested in a particular year is around 89,831 meter cube. So that is the total amount of water that can be harvested. I'm not going by the values. And in universities, it will be around 1,31,000. So what is this implication? I mean, blankly speaking, 1,30,000 or blankly speaking, 89,000 doesn't make any sense. Auto meter cube of water. So it was being seen that Jadavpur University has actually the highest rooftop area. And coincidentally, I belong from Jadavpur University. So I started walking. So this was the total of the summation during the monsoon months, that what is the rainwater that can be collected. So I started walking in the Jadavpur University campus itself, in the main campus. So this was the map that was being prepared by us. This was a map specifically showing the buildings, because we wanted to find out the total rooftop areas. Sir, 2 minutes. So the buildings were being measured with the help of distometers, so that we can have very accurate measurements of those. So these are the total number of buildings we are having over there, and that is the total area of the rooftop covered. Again, I am not going into the values. The values which is highlighted with yellow, shows that there is a good amount of rainfall that we received in the monsoon months. Then what we did, we went to the university authority. We collected the total number of staffs, total number of students, total number of teachers in our university. And we found out that there is almost around 15,000 people. So taking the attendance consideration of 90% each day, it was found that it was around 13,600. And considering that everybody will be going to the toilet and flushing for once, and if the flush contains around 10 liters of water, so we did a calculation for 20 days in a month. So that amounts to around 2,72,000, 27,26,000 liters of water. But that is 2726 cubic meters. So obviously it's going to be a flat demand. Considering, well, we can consider the puja holidays, etc. There is a different issue. But this graph showed that the rainfall, obviously we are having a skewed rainfall because due to the monsoon. What is the implication in Jadavpur University? Let's see. So the average daily rain water harvesting that can be done is around 370,445. That is liters of water. If we discharge, if the flask discharges 10 liters, then what kind of calculation do we have? We'll be having, if we flush for one time, that will consume 10 liters of water. 37,000 of people in 4 months, June, July, August and September, can use the toilet without taking any amount of water from outside the university. If the flushes for 2 times, then 18,000 people can use it. If the flushes for 5 times, then 7,000 people can use it every day. So If the plannings are being executed, Jadavpur University don't have to take any amount of water from outside. Just implement whatever God is giving you free. Just distilled water H2O. Use that for non-potable purposes. You don't have to depend on the corporation for 4 months. That's what the calculation says. Finally, the last slide. This is my last slide. Two things have to be kept in mind. Number one, while doing this rainwater harvesting, it should be unmanned. Whenever we are going to ask anybody for opening the knob, the project will be lost. And the second thing is, since I have two administrators over here, I'll request sir that whenever a building plans comes up in Kolkata, there should be such a situation that if the building is of nth storied, then in the n-1 story, we should have an extension where we can capture the water and transmit that particular water under gravity for non-potable uses. That means if we are having a 20-story building, we can capture the water on the 19th floor and transmit that water freely under gravity. So that is my concept of rainwater harvesting. Thank you. Sir, I have done it, sir. I have done it in my college. That's what I showed. Sir, university I have not done. I have just done the work right now. So this was my college, Women's Christian College. I have done it over there, and then I have applied the idea for research. And this is done only for the colleges and universities. I have also done the calculations for all the hospitals, malls, but the time is 20 minutes. I cannot. Sir, plumbing system টা খুব সিম্পল, আমি বাংলায় বলছি। আমার একটা পাইপ আসছে রেন ওয়াটার হারভেস্টিং থেকে, আর একটা পাইপ আসছে মিউনিসিপাল কর্পোরেশন থেকে। আমি বলছি এই পাইপের ডায়ামিটারটা যদি 2 ইঞ্চি হয়, মানে মিউনিসিপাল পাইপ তো আপনার কনস্ট্যান্ট, এটা যদি 1 ইঞ্চি হয়, এটা 2 ইঞ্চি দিন। এইবারে আমি এখানে টি লাগাচ্ছি, টি। এবার টিতে একটা ভালভ থাকবে। এবার এর যে প্রেশার হবে না, এতে যখন জল থাকবে, যার ডায়ামিটার হচ্ছে 2 ইঞ্চি, অটোমেটিক্যালি ভালভটা এই 1 ইঞ্চিকে আটকে দেবে। বুঝা যাচ্ছে? আমার হার্টে যেমন হয়, আমার হার্টে কিন্তু একদিকেই ফ্লো করে ব্লাড, দুদিকে ফ্লো করতে পারবে না। রাইট অরিক্যাল, লেফট অরিক্যাল, রাইট ভেন্ট্রিকেল, লেফট ভেন্ট্রিকেল, আমার ওয়ান ফ্লো, ওয়ান ডিরেকশনাল। আমি ওখান থেকেই কনসেপ্টটা নিয়েছি এবং আমি প্লাম্বারকে বলে ওটা করিয়েছিলাম যে ওটা একদিকেই ফ্লো করবে। এটা 2 ইঞ্চি আছে, তো ওয়াটার প্রেশার বেশি হয়ে যাবে না। এটা 1 ইঞ্চি আছে, ওইটাকে আটকে দেবে। এবার যেই এখানে জল শেষ হয়ে যাবে, তখন এই অটোমেটিক্যালি খুলে যাবে, মিউনিসিপাল জল ঢুকতে শুরু করে দেবে। ওই জন্য আনম্যান্ড, কারণ আমি জানি এটা, আমি যদি কারো করে চালাতে বলি সেটা আর কোনোদিনও হবে না। থ্যাংক ইউ। প্রেজেন্টেশনটা কিন্তু ডিলিট করে দিয়েছো। ঠিক আছে।
হ্যাঁ, এনি কোয়েশ্চেন্স ফ্রম দি ফ্লোর? নেই? Yes.
As you discussed that there is 2 pipe ratio 2:1, but if we are talking about the water pressure, when the pipe area is reduced, the pressure will be increased, na? So when the water will be flow from municipality, that force will be much more higher than the other.
Something very okay, but let me tell you. What is the relationship between force and pressure? Force is equal to? Or pressure is equal to whatever it is? Force by area. তো একটা কলাকে যদি আমি কাটতে যাই, ছুরিটা যদি আমি এভাবে রাখি তবেই কাটবে, এবার রাখলে তো কাটবে না। একদম পারফেক্ট তোমার কথা, একদম পারফেক্ট। কিন্তু ওখান থেকে যখন তোমার টোটাল মাসটা যখন ওয়াটারে বেশি থাকবে না, আমি এই জিনিসটা পুরো কাজ করাচ্ছি হচ্ছে আন্ডার গ্র্যাভিটি। গ্র্যাভিটি আমার একমাত্র জায়গা যেটা আমাকে সলিউশনটা দেয়। অথবা আমাকে পাম্পিং করে করাতে হবে, মানে জোর করে ঢোকাতে হবে। তখন আমি যখন পাম্পিং করছি আর কি, তো আমি তখন কি করি, ওয়াটার মানে যেটা আমার গ্র্যাভিটেশনাল ফোর্স, তার এগেনস্টে আমি ওয়াটারকে লিফট করি। এটা আমি অলরেডি প্রজেক্টটা করেছি, আমি জানি না এখনো সাস্টেন করছে কিনা ঠিক মতো। কিন্তু ওখানে তোমার গ্র্যাভিটি একমাত্র সিচুয়েশন, কারণ মিউনিসিপাল ওয়াটার সাপ্লাই কিন্তু তোমার নিচ থেকে তুলছে অথবা উপরে গিয়ে স্টোর করে সেখানে নামাচ্ছে আর কি। আর এটা একমাত্র সিচুয়েশন যেটা আন্ডার গ্র্যাভিটি যেটা আসবে আর কি, যে ফোর্সটা ক্রিয়েট হবে ওখানে, তোমার ভাল্বটাকে অফ করবে। এবং এটা চলেছে অনেকদিন, মানে আমি অ্যাটলিস্ট দেড় বছর তো চালিয়েছি, তারপর আমি জানি। And it can be modified, huh? It can be. This was a starting project for me.
Sir, I have one thing to point out.
Yeah.
Whether this model is novel or that.
I cannot say. You can say that.
No,
I have done it.
One point that I'm pointing out, if that model has a kind of uniqueness about using this bulb and the automated distribution, and you are planning for all over, kind of the city of Kolkata, where it can be implemented, and in state government concerned department can take over there. So in our department, we provide a kind of IPR protection of it can be a kind
Patent.
of not patent. The model can be copyright fit, industrial model can be copyright. One kind of IPR.
If you can provide me, I'll be happy, sir.
So you come in our
Okay,
department and you apply.
It's not only for Kolkata. It's what I was trying to say. See, I have seen many a times that many of my friends works in colleges and schools. So what happens? So a direction comes from the government, and everybody goes on making a rainwater harvesting system. So while I was talking of Pandua with only 3% built-up area in the total block, which is around 282 square kilometers, there is no point in making any expense for doing a rainwater harvesting in Pandua. So do that particular expense where you have a lot of built-up area. So as I said, my research objectives are to convert liabilities into assets. In Kolkata, the liability is built-up area. I'll convert that into asset. In the Darjeeling, the liability is slope. I'll convert that into asset. In Pandua, it was flood. I'll convert that into asset. I can convert that, but sorry, I cannot execute that. Thank you.
Thank you, both the speakers. And sir, I believe we have completed in time. So it is time for next. Yes.
Thank you, respected speakers, and thank you, sir. I would now request. I would now respected Dr. Kalyan Rudra sir to present the certificate of appreciation to our esteemed speakers. First, I would request him to provide the certificate to Dr. P.K. Sigdar sir. I would again request sir to provide the certificate of appreciation to respected Dr. Arijit Majumdar sir. Now, before moving over to the next session, we will now have a short tea break, and I request everyone to kindly return and be seated by 3:30 p.m. as we shall then be proceeding to our fourth and final technical session of today's seminar. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We now proceed to the fourth and final technical session of the seminar for day 1. The theme for the technical session 4 is solid waste and wastewater management of Kolkata, problems and prospects. The session will be chaired by our respected Dr. Sudipto Tripathi sir, Assistant Professor, School of Environment and Disaster Management, Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, Narendrapur campus. He specializes in soil health and sustainable agricultural system. Building upon his early research experience at the ICAR Central Soil Salinity Research Institute, his work focuses on soil quality dynamics, microbial and enzymatic activities, coastal salinity mitigation, bioremediation, and organic waste management through vermicomposting. His research brings together the critical dimensions of soil health, environmental restorations, and sustainable resource management. For this session, the distinguished speakers are respected Dr. Shubhashish Chattopadhyay, Director General Solid Waste Management, Kolkata Municipal Corporation. The second distinguished speaker, Dr. Amit Datta, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Jadavpur University. I now respectfully invite respected Dr. Sudipto Tripathi sir, the chair of the session, to kindly take his place on the dais. I invite our first distinguished speaker, Dr. Subhashish Chattopadhyay sir, to kindly join us on the dais. I now request our respected session chair, respected Dr. Sudipto Tripathi sir, to kindly felicitate. अच्छा, ठीक है, sir. Okay, sir. Now I again invite our second distinguished speaker, respected Dr. Amit Datta sir, to kindly join us on the dais. I'll now request our respected session chair to kindly felicitate respected Dr. Subhashish Chattopadhyay sir. I'll once again request our respected session chair to kindly felicitate Dr. Amit Datta sir. Thank you, sir. Now I respectfully request our respected Sudipto Tripathi sir to take over the proceedings and guide us through this session.
Thank you, Manoshita. And good afternoon to all of you after this post-tea session. And probably this is the last session of this two-day national workshop on urban environment of Kolkata, problems and prospect. As you heard since morning that we are having several problems, and one of the greatest problem of this municipal area is the solid waste management. As you know, when we are talking about any urban area, the solid waste generation each and every day, which is quite higher than the rural area, because in rural area, if you just think a little or small example, say for example we are talking about the breakfast. In rural area, people are taking breakfast, the muri, or in Bengali we can say muri or panta or something like that. But in urban area, we used to have the oats, cornflakes and all these things, which are again generating the waste material. This is a simple example. And per capita waste generation is huge. I'm not talking much on that because I am fortunate, and rather we are fortunate that we are having two eminent experts in this field of this particular city. Dr. Subhashish Chattopadhyay was the Director General of Waste Management, Kolkata Municipality. Just I came to know that he is not in that position right now. 7 days back, he has transferred to other, but 30 years he has served. Sir, most welcome you to this institution. And so far my knowledge is concerned, he is the alumni of this Ramakrishna mission. He is the product of Purulia Ramakrishna mission. So it is his homecoming. So welcome you, sir. And I can remember his activity when we used to visit the Dhapa with our third semester student, how beautifully he has explained all these things, how the Kolkata Municipal Corporation and the urban local body, they are managing the solid waste in our city, starting from the biodegradable waste, then the plastic waste, then other liquid waste, so on and so forth. So that is why it is a great opportunity for us, not only for us but also for the participant, to hear from the horse's mouth how Kolkata Municipal Corporation are managing the waste, and what are the latest guideline and what are the latest framework they are following to manage this huge amount of waste which are generating each and every day. So I must welcome Dr. Chattopadhyay for his gracious presence in this afternoon session. And another important issue, that is the legacy waste. We are talking about the present day, but what about the past? Whatever waste material you might have seen in Dhapa, small tila type of structure has been developed. And so the legacy waste, that part is also creating a huge problem in and around our city of Joy, Kolkata. We are among us, Professor Amit Datta, Professor Civil Engineering Department, Jadavpur University. He will talk upon the legacy waste and its management in and around Kolkata. Without much delay, So, legacy waste you learn? Okay. 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 So, okay. 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 So, as this session is there is the solid waste. Sorry for this inconvenience. So, as our session is that the solid waste and wastewater management. So, Professor Datta will talk on the wastewater treatment and its detail, civil engineering part. And Dr. Subhashis Chattopadhyay will talk upon the waste management along with the legacy waste. So first, I will invite Dr. Chattopadhyay for his deliberation. So, sir, please come and we will sit in the bottom so that we can see. The presentation is here to help.
Just change for presentation. Full slide. চেঞ্জ করতে হবে ভিডিওটা যদি চাচ্ছেন
Good afternoon to everybody, respected chairman and researchers and other students and dear audience. I am grateful to present in this auspicious occasion and the August House for the integrated solid waste management for the city of Kolkata. First, first I will explain a short history of the solid waste management. So, solid waste management has evolved more than 2,500 years. Why it is important? This is not a history. Because 2,500 years has already been passed. But now, we are still unable to manage the municipal solid waste. That is very unfortunate. We have started ancient times, that is the 500 BC in Athens. It was responsible of each household to taking their garbage to the disposal site located at a minimum 1.5 kilometer from the city walls. Actually, at that time, it was mostly they dealt with the public health. Next, in the Industrial Revolution, they have tried how to manage the solid waste, the collection, transportation. Then the 20th century, they have started the implementation of the rules. That is the Municipal Solid Waste Management Rule, then Biomedical Waste Management Rule, then the Construction and Demolition Waste Management Rule, then Hazardous Waste Management Rule, then Battery Waste Management Rule. So many rules have come up in the year of 2016. I'm not going to go through this, but this is not the history. So this is the very important. When it was started and what is the position at present and why we have failed to manage the municipal solid waste till now. Number two is very important. Suppose we are disposing the waste in a landfill or open dumping, simply open dumping. So you see, 1947 to 2001, Area of land occupied or required for MSW disposal, how much? 240 square kilometer. That means 50% area of the Chennai, Mumbai. Now 1947 to 2011, if we still continue dumping, open dumping, so what happens? 380 square kilometer, that is 90% of the Chennai area will be covered. 1947 to 2021, 590 square kilometer, that is the Hyderabad will be totally covered. And 2009 to 2047, that is 1,400 square kilometer, that is Hyderabad, Mumbai and Chennai. You see. So if we continue the dumping in a haphazard manner, then what will happen? So whole Kolkata, whole Mumbai or Chennai or Hyderabad, it will be totally covered with the solid waste. Now, I come to the point, what is the generation at the national level? Before coming to my Kolkata or Kolkata Municipal Corporation area. 2001, urban population like this, and national waste generation rate is 31.67 million tons per year. So per capita generation, 0.439 kg per day. And 2031, say 0.649, and in the year of, if we projected year 2041, so it will be around 0.741 kg per day, and the national waste generation rate will be 160.96 million metric tons per year. So every day the generation is, actually waste generation is increasing, and our objective is to reduce the municipal solid waste as far as possible. So you know the hierarchy of the solid waste management, that reduce, reuse and recycling. There's the 3 R's. This is very important in solid waste management. Now city at a glance, that is our objective, and the perspective point of the Kolkata city area is 206.08 square kilometer. And as per census 2011, the last census, 45 lakhs, another 45 lakhs, they are coming for the business purpose, for the for schooling and others, for office purpose. So total number of population is 9 million, that is 90 lakh at present. Household 12 lakh as per last census, and number of boroughs means we have divided the Kolkata into 16 boroughs, 144 wards. Waste generation 600 gram per capita per day. So this is very important. Suppose Singapore, what is the generation? Generation is 2 kg per capita per day. In USA is much more. So on the basis of that, this is the benchmark, whether it is economically developed or not. Total number of disposal sites, there is two. One is at Dhapa and Garden Reach, and there are garages and workshops because transportation purposes. We are already actually render service for the petty works, and for the major works we need for the tender and other purposes. And budgetary allocation 638 crores for the solid waste management. And besides this, we use the 15th Finance Commission, that is by the central government, and other Swachh Bharat Mission. So we have utilized the fund for the procurement of, that is the capex of the equipments, that is for primary collection, for transportation, as well as for disposal. And the revenue, if you, in the year of 2002 or 3, the revenue was 1 crore. Now we have given emphasis, and now we are targeting 78 crores at this moment. Segregation, it is the foundation of the solid waste management. Initially, we have started in the 27 wards, and now from December 2022, we are segregating in 144 wards. But we have achieved only 50%. Frankly speaking, we have started in 144 wards, but it is not this is why we are calling the 50%. We are speaking the 50% because of the awareness. People are not habituated to give their waste to the conservancy mozdurs. And second thing is, we are late risers. Our people started their work at 6 a.m. and we left our actually at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., 9 p.m. So when they have completed their service, the people throwing their garbage to the roadside. That is their habit. At practical purposes, we are giving the 2-time or 3-time service, but still Kolkata is dirty. Why? Because of some people. We have already framed the bylaws. In the bylaws means in the act there was no provision what is the fines or penalties for the citizens who do not comply the rules and regulations. Now we have framed the bylaws, and the first instance, second instance, and third instance, what will be the fines? So we have imposed, but every time there is some opposition, they have started, okay, please forgive him. Okay, so there are some problems, administrative and political problems are there. We have faced in many cases. But we have to continue in this way so that we can achieve the 100% source segregation. And third is involvement of the school children and also the senior citizen, the clubs. If they are not involved, so we cannot achieve the 100% source segregation. So that's why we have to shift the technology. We know that we will take the mixed waste and then we will segregate and send it to the processing plant so that the quality of the waste can be improved, and separately the organic waste will go to the compost plant or bio-CNG plant. Then dry waste, it can be sent to the recycling plant or the RDA power plant. Then the inert material there which has no value, it will go to the landfill. But at present, the Chennai IIT, they have already studied the inert waste, that it can be used if we add some cement or like this, it can use for the other purposes, that means paper blocks or like that. So ultimately our objective is there will be no waste and all the waste can be reused or recycling. This is our objective as an environmental engineer or our experts. Sorry. Now the primary collection, so in solid waste management, is a very important that the primary collection, because door-to-door collection is there. So we have provided 2 bins as per the last SWM rule 2016. Now 2026. So again the rule has been implemented. So in 2016, 2-way. That is we have to segregate the biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Now we have to segregate the 4-way system, biodegradable and non-biodegradable, and the sanitary waste and other waste, domestic hazardous waste. It is compulsory. So primary collection system, we were using, that is the traditional hand cut. Now for Kolkata city, you know that the primary collection system, if it is, we have to improve this primary collection system, we need some battery operated hydraulic dumpers and the auto tippers. Why? It means initially we had 6,700 number of open vats. If you remember that the vats means storage points, it was constructed with the help of masonry or in the form of RCC, reinforced cement concrete. But we have transformed this covered vat or the open vat into the modern scientific waste compactor station, that is called compactor station. And what is the benefit of this? No spillage, no odor, no leachate generation, and it can be used at the night also, and totally mechanized. And we can also give some pressure so that all the wastewater generating it and coming to the from the outlet, and it is directly discharged to the nearby manhole. So at that time, BOD COD value is within the permissible limit. We have tested. So nobody can raise any questions. So why you are directly discharging this? So because this is a fresh waste at that time, BOD COD is within the permissible limit. So we have improved from we have changed the hand cart to the battery operated hydraulic dumper. 6 batteries are there, and it is costly, means 1.5 lakhs per vehicle, but it is very hardy and it can move much distance, that is from one compactor stations to another compactor stations. And the auto tipper, that is, we have also need some putting the bins in the footpath for the pedestrians, only for the trash. Now what we are doing, whatever we are generating in the household level, we are keeping the waste and throwing it in the 240-liter bins. So we have to stop it. We have already talked to the people. Please don't put this waste into this bin, because it is only a trash bin. No, and we have already engaged for door-to-door collection system. And if you do not help the KMC people, then we will impose the fine, and we have already started. Next is air pollution. It is also a factor, in Delhi and other cities. So we have already procured some mechanical sweepers, that is the Dulevo machines, 4.8 cubic meter machines. It can move, actually move from 60 to 80 kilometer. Speed is very low, 8 to 10 kilometer per hour. And there is some arrangement is there. And we have also procured some small vehicles, small mechanical sweepers, so that it can enter into the lanes. So this type of vehicle can enter into the lanes. So we have procured 20 machines, and for 16 boroughs, there are standby machines, 4 machines are standby. And there are mist cannon also. During the winter season, we have actually we use this type of mist cannon machines. So 60 nozzles are there, and it is very much effective at the time of winter season. Now, storage facilities. But I've said already, this is the compactor stations, and in the compactor stations there are 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the portable compactor machines. Portable compactor means these machines is lifted with the hook loader, hook loader means the vehicle, and this is a portable compactor. We cannot see from the outside. And you can stand here, you can sit here, no smell is there. So the capacity of the compactor station, portable compactor is 10.5 cubic meter, means it can carry 7 to 8 ton per trip. In addition to that, we have already procured some movable compactor where there is no space for the installation of the compactor stations. So we have 165 number of movable compactors throughout the city, and 80 number of hook loaders are used for carrying the portable compactor, and it is disposed at Dhapa, but it is not allowed at present. But still we are using, and this is our deficiency of the Kolkata Municipal Corporation. Now, on an average, 200 number of hired vehicles, because there are tree benches, seals, and everything that has to be carried out. So compactor machines, these are not allowed to for the tree benches as well as for the seals. That's why we have to engage some vehicles for the hired vehicles. This is open truck, and the tipping arrangement is there. Now, vehicle tracking system we have already introduced, but it is not functioning at present due to some reasons. And our Weibull and the other Pathadisha model that was adopted in Kolkata city, but there is a failure also. And now I am going for the treatment and disposal options. So treatment of waste means we have to segregate. So what are the biodegradable waste? What are the non-biodegradable waste? Out of the non-biodegradable waste, what are the combustible portions? What are the recyclable portions? Non-recyclable portions? What are the inert? Then what are the inert materials? Based on these, we have to design. We cannot choose any technology from Australia or USA or Germany, whatever may be. In 1932, so EDL under I cannot remember at this project. At that time, in Timarpur in Delhi, they set up one incineration plant, and at that time they have mentioned that our calorific value is 4,200 kilocalorie per kg, but at present our calorific value is mostly 1,000 kilocalorie per kg. So there was a mistake. So they sold the machine to India, and whatever the input and is coming out from the output. No incineration, no actually processing is at that time in the year of 1932, and cost was 40 crores. So we have to, because the characterization of the physical or chemical characterization of the state or Kolkata city or northern portion, southern portion, middle portion, because there is a slum area, there's a HIG, MIG, LIG, and their food habits is different. So we have to choose the technology as per the characterization of the waste. This is a compost plant. This is a window compost plant, and 500 metric ton per day. It was a capacity, and small space is required. 23 acres land was given, and we are sending the waste at the free of cost, and we are taking. They are paying 1.2.5% of royalty, and lease rent is ₹1 per square meter. But the problem is, RDF, refuse derived fuel from fresh waste and the inert waste, these are also generating from the fresh waste. And at that time, when it was 15 years ago, when the agreement was executed between the Eastern Organic Fertilizer and the KMC, and at that time we have mentioned, okay, you process it, and the inert material and the RDF will be disposed to our landfill site. Now we are facing the problem. These are the trommels, 60, 40, and finally the 4 mm screens. And after 4 mm, this is the semi-finished manure. We are then we have to store for 30 days. After 30 days, you will get the soil conditioner or fertilizer. And they are now marketing. Actually, they are selling in the I think Chhattisgarh, then other cities also. So initially there is a problem of marketing. Now at this moment there is no problem of marketing. And treatment of waste, there is the plastic waste processing plant. I'll show you the video. Just so time is plastic waste processing plant. We have 10 TPT plastic waste processing plants and 100 TPT MRF, material recovery facility is very important. And there are two ways we have to treat. One is on-site and the off-site. So we have also installed some organic waste composter, and there is a 20 or 40 number of agencies are there, but still it is not conforming the FCO norms for the organic waste composter. We have sent the materials to the Agriculture Kollani department, and NPK value, CN ratio, and other factors they are not maintaining. So we have to think about it. Sorry, page down, page up. No, okay. This is the bio-CNG plant, 5 TPT. We have already, this is also continuing, and 500 TPT we are getting 160 kg, and we are using 3 vehicles, KMC own vehicles. Okay. Now closure of the dump site. So we have also closed one dump site, 12.14 hectare, and by the World Bank, with the help of the financial assistance of World Bank, and it was done by the West Bengal Pollution Control Board. Now we are maintaining. Disposal of waste, Dhapa is disposal of waste, 5 way bridges are there, and checkposts there are under CCTV surveillance system, 66 cameras are there, washing bay is there, and bulldozers which are using for the dressing and leveling. Now I'm also discussing the thermocol. It's a very important. So thermocol you will get in the different markets. So this is also a technology we are using from 1 TPT thermocol processing plant we have already installed, and these are the final product. There's the buttons and others, jewelries and everything. This is our future project. That is we have started to find out the land for the Kolkata. And last 30 years, we have not yet got any land. So finally, we have identified the land at Dhapa, just adjoining our landfill site. That is the 73 hectare land, and we have also paid some compensation. So we have already fenced, and I think the total gap, that is the generation and the processing, generation minus processing, and the future, that is for 25 years, what will be the generation? So that will be based on this, we'll set up this type of processing facilities. Next is, I'm not. It is also challenging. You know, there's the Amphan, other, at the time of, there are so many trees and it is fallen. So how it can be used as a reuse, how can be used as a actually asset? Because we will briquetting from tree branches and green waste. So we will set up one power plant, and this is an additional fuel. So this fuel can be used in our as an alternative of coal. Okay, so in this way, we are also thinking the setting up of briquetting from the tree benches and green waste. ভুল হয়ে যাচ্ছে না, সরি hydro testing center. This is also important because this is the practical situation. We are using CNG vehicle. After 3 years, we have to go for Asansol. Why? Testing for the cylinder. We have no setup at the Kolkata or adjoining area. And if it is not tested, so they will not supply the gas. So we are facing this problem. We have also procured for 300 number of CNG vehicles. Then we have decided, so we will set up hydro testing center for CNG cylinders at Dhapa. So and other private agencies, they may also use this, so it can also revenue generation from this area. The processing of legacy waste. At present, 90 lakh metric ton is accumulated at Dhapa. Can you imagine? And this is a black spot in India. Just 3 weeks back, Honorable Union Minister Mr. Khattar, he has came here, has identified that 90 lakh metric ton has to be removed in 1 year, within 1 year. So in 1987 we have started. Now we have to remove in the 90 lakh metric ton within 1 year. This is the target. Yes, we have already removed 12 lakh metric ton, and DH Patel from Surat, they have started, and we have given 3 years from to remove the 40 lakh metric ton, but they have not complied, and we have terminated and blacklisted. So most of the cases in all the municipalities, if you check it, then you see that all the materials, they are spreading on the roads, on the lower side of the roadside. That is the sub-base and subgrade. And we have checked. SAR is there. SAR is from the Jadavpur University. We have already engaged third party for transparency. And we have terminated this gentleman. Now, we will go for the next tender, that is the 90 lakhs. So we have to go for the 6 or 7 tenders and to remove within 1 year. That is our target. 260 crores, 650 per ton, that is the rate. Not bad. So I am not giving, this is the window composting, then coming to this weighbridge, then germination test is there, whether it is decomposed or not. Then stabilization of waste. After stabilization, it is passed through the ballistic separator and trommel. Then finally, we are getting 3 types of coarser fractions, lighter fractions, and heavier fractions, depending on the size of the material, and recycled portions, process rejects, and also the bioearth. And flowchart of the treatment process. So this is the what I have said earlier. These are the percentage, and now expected fraction range for different biomining components. So moisture content 15 to 25%, CND 25 to 30% is very important, RDF 10 to 15%, and this cement plant and thermal plant in Kolkata, in West Bengal, they are not taking this RDF in spite of the clause mentioned in our rules. So where we are sending 460 kilometers away from Kolkata, that is Rajbhandpur in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, they are taking the RDF waste. So per ton is 1,800, actually rupees 1,800 per ton. So we have to, some modification is required for the thermal plant or cement plant. They can take. And finally, biomini project at Garden Reach, they have also completed 75%. And this is our future plan. We have already engaged NERI, that is the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, and NIT Puducherry for preparation of as a consultant to prepare the tender document and selection of bidder, and they will issue the work order, and also they will be engaged for the commissioning, and after successful commissioning they will be stayed. And this is the activity of the project implementation. And if you give me some time, I will video. এটা করেন তো, কোথায় আসুন, একটা করে করে দেন। এটা ফার্স্ট করে এটা করে সিএনডি করে দেন। We have set up 500 TPD construction and demolition waste at Pathorghata. Just see. সাউন্ডটা হবে না, জোরে কথা বলা যাবে না। হ্যাঁ হবে। সাউন্ডটা এখান থেকে হ্যাঁ হবে। মাইক থেকে দিয়ে যাবো।
Kolkata, the city of joy. Our beloved joyous city, the capital of West Bengal. Every moment the city is growing, its size, population and daily challenges. And with the evolution of modern technology, our favorite city is also changing. Kolkata remains one of the most densely populated cities in our country. With rapid socio-economic progress, taking care of the existing infrastructure and ensuring a healthy environment for its citizens rests upon Kolkata Municipal Corporation. A pollution-free environment is crucial for a healthy lifestyle. The KMC makes sure of proper management of the waste generated by the humongous population of Kolkata. For instance, when a multi-story building is crumbled down into stone and dust, how is the waste disposed of? The demolition or construction of new buildings, widening of roads, repair of footpaths, each of these creates a huge amount of construction and demolition waste. To address this challenge, the Kolkata Municipal Corporation partnered with Resustainability Limited through its subsidiary company, Hyderabad Integrated MSW Limited, to recycle the construction and demolition wastes into reusable materials. The Kolkata Construction and Demolition Recycle project has become a key sustainability initiative that will help to protect cities' environmental health amidst long-term development goals. The 1600 TPD construction and demolition plant has been developed at Pathorghata New Town. Under this initiative, C&D wastes are being collected on a daily basis and recycled to use raw materials and made available as sustainable construction inputs. The recycling of C&D waste is one of the many initiatives of National Clean Air Program to abate air pollution.
ন্যাশনাল ক্লিন এয়ার প্রোগ্রামের আন্ডারে কলকাতা শহরে এই সিএনডি ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট প্রজেক্টটা বানানো হয়েছে। কলকাতা মিউনিসিপ্যাল কর্পোরেশনের আন্ডারে বিভিন্ন বোরো থেকে সিএনডি ওয়েস্ট তুলে নিয়ে এসে এখানে প্রক্রিয়াকরণ করা হয়। এই সিএনডি ওয়েস্ট কলকাতা শহরের যেমন এয়ার পলিউশনে বৃদ্ধি করত, তেমনি দৃশ্য দূষণেও এর একটা বিশেষ ভূমিকা ছিল। তো আশা করা যায় যে এই প্রজেক্টের মাধ্যমে সেই দূষণগুলোকে অনেক কমানো যাবে এবং পরিবেশকে রক্ষা করা যাবে। 2023-এর এপ্রিল থেকে এই প্রজেক্টটা চলছে এবং আমরা ইতিমধ্যে 2 বছর অতিক্রম করে এসেছি।
Kolkata Municipal Corporation has deployed 50 new vehicles to collect C&D waste from 16 boroughs of the city. These waste-loaded trucks are then weighed on the weighbridge. Then the vehicles channel over the ramp one after the other and reach the 32 feet high tipping floor. And dispose of the collected waste at the dump hopper. To control the fugitive dust emissions, modern dust suppressant technology such as water sprinklers and fog cannon are used inside the plant. A highly advanced crushing machine is used for processing the waste. The primary crusher is a jaw crusher operated from a central control panel. From the jaw crusher, the materials moves onwards through a horizontal conveyor to the next stage, where a magnetic separator removes metals. Then it is transported to a surge hopper. Before reaching the cone crusher, secondary segregation is done through a magnetic sensor. And secondary crushing is done through the cone crusher. Finally, the crushed materials go through a vibrating screen where they are separated and graded. After screening, the materials are classified into 10 mm, 20 mm and 40 mm aggregates which are ready to be reused. From the end shoot, -4 mm aggregates are mixed with water to form slurry and sent to the sea. Both coarse and fine fractions are collected. During this entire process, water is a continuous requirement. To avoid wastage of water, an aqua cyclone is used that separates almost 85% water from waste sludge. The extracted water is then sent to 4 dewatering tanks and reused back into the system.
এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের স্লাজ ডিওয়াটারিং এরিয়া। আমাদের স্ট্যান্ড ওয়াশারের পরে স্লাজটা বেরোয়। এখানে 4 স্টেজ প্রসেসে আমরা ডিওয়াটারিং করি এবং ফাইনালি পলিশ ওয়াটারটা।
Time is very short, then I will go for the next one or two.
কোনটা
প্লাস্টিকটা দেখিয়ে শেষ
প্লাস্টিক দেখি প্লাস্টিক দেখেন
প্লাস্টিক লেখা নেই।
না দেখেন
Kolkata is a city of joy, of contrast, and of an evolving
plastic waste processing.
Like every evolving story, there's a side less told. Trees are often sacrificed for progress and plastic. Plastics, the building blocks of today's modern world, have become an endless looming threat. They stand as the heaviest burden of tomorrow. But wait, what if there's another way? At the crossroads of innovation and responsibility stands Eco-Ville with an amazing journey that echoes their commitment to a greener future.
এটা শেষ হয়ে গেলে শেষ হয়ে যাবে।
এখানে একটা চ্যাটে কোশ্চেন আছে যে 2026 অনলাইনে কিছু পার্টিসিপেন্ট হচ্ছে তো, যে 2016 মিউনিসিপ্যাল রুল অনুযায়ী চেকিং যে গাড়িতে করে 4টে করে ওটা এখন চালু হয়েছে। সেটা করবে
অনলাইনে আছে, অনলাইন।
হ্যাঁ। So, due to shortage of time, we have to stop it because thank you. Stop. Okay. So, thank you very much, Dr. Chattopadhyay. It's an excellent talk. This class. And we used to visit the Dhapa with our student, and nowadays Calcutta Municipal Corporation, they are saying they are having zero waste. All whatever may be the waste, whether it is plastic waste, demolition waste, biomedical waste or biodegradable waste, all they are processing so nicely that we are having zero waste at present. Whatever we are having, the legacy waste, that also Dr. Chattopadhyay covered very nicely. I think it's a eye-opening session because solid waste management now a burning issues, and I don't know how many of you has the opportunity to visit Dhapa. Then you may have this idea what the Calcutta Municipal Corporation are doing very nicely and excellently. Now it's open for discussion. If any questions, very quickly we may take, and we are having also online participant. They are having one question in the chat box that I will communicate to him later. First of all, if any question from the participant over here. We are running little behind of the schedule, not little, much behind of the schedule, no problem. So any question? From the
Swachhata Sagat.
Rank the cities. So why West Bengal is so low in the ranking? Calcutta is so low in the ranking.
Actually, we have not participated in the.
Why you have not participated?
That is a administrative issue.
So,
Yes. Yes.
8 years.
We have not participated.
You are not participating at all.
Yes. Now we will participate.
But even if you are not,
Now we will participate. Sir, we cannot explain. I think you have understand.
even if you are not participating, when you see cities like Isaac, Surat, who are quite high in the ranking, and you compare this with the Kolkata visually, I feel quite upset. We have to travel a long distance to achieve that sort of treatment. There are a lot of today in the system.
Yes.
The first impression of the city when you come from the airport to the city, you see a lot of pictures, signs, a lot of things to be done.
But it is.
I myself have worked as an administrator of a municipal corporation.
Sir, microphone is on.
So I know this. I know the challenges.
Yes, but from the airport.
It's one of the most difficult jobs. One of the most difficult jobs we handle in my administrative career is that administrator of municipal corporation. Very difficult job.
Yes.
Challenging job. But it is a doable job. I think in Calcutta, it deserves to be much more clean than it is. I think kind of initiative that you are taking, very soon see.
Yes.
Emerging as one of the cleanest cities in India.
Yes. And airport is not under the municipal corporation, so it is under the NKDA or NDITA. But on the we have airport, so we cannot enter into this jurisdiction. That is the problem.
But a lot of good things happening.
We are trying, and we have got the land. So I think after 3 to 4 years, there will be
3 million tons of legacy waste you will be clearing in 1 year.
So actually it will take 3 years. It will take. But the
Belgaria,
Belguria. Yes. So they are also doing, but the problem is actually it is under sub judice, number one. Number two, we have to float the tender immediately. And there are so many agencies like Jigma or other agencies, I cannot remember at this moment. They can 30 lakhs legacy waste processing per year. So they have the capacity, but rate is much more. In Kolkata or in West Bengal, so actually 260 per ton, 360 per ton, and we are giving 650 per ton. But if you go to the Chennai and Delhi or Hyderabad or Guwahati, and their rate is 100, 250, 1250, 1350, not less than 900. That is the problem.
We are giving half.
Yes.
You have to pay for it.
So that is another decision. So they.
NGT will impose a fine.
Yes.
NGT has already imposed a fine.
Not fine, but they have said that the amount, whatever the amount, and it has to be separately kept as a escrow account. So you have to use for the legacy waste, not for the other purposes.
Anyway, very difficult job. All this.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Sir, during COVID time, huge number of dead body was cremated there, and PPE and this biomedical waste. So how did you manage at that time?
That was a different story. It will take a lot of time.
I can say, but at that time, COVID, and we have this is the challenge for the solid waste management department. At the time, Didan Mayor, they have actually asked me to start with the backpack machine to sanitize to every household level, number one. And we have procured these machines from the Pune, and Pune was closed. So during the transition, we have to buy the machines, and he has certified for every state, please allow them to come here in Kolkata, number one. Number two, this mixed cannon machines was used with the help of sodium hypochlorite machines. We are adding. Now we are using the fresh water. At that time, two machines, one for northern Calcutta and for the southern Calcutta, for COVID period, we are using 1% sodium hypochlorite solution. So, and all the not only two machines, other water sprinklers. These are also used for the sanitization. Number three, we had collected all the waste, that is the food waste, from the individual household level. That is our duty. From the hospitals, from the and our people done this job for first COVID and also for the second COVID. Then the health department and other department joined with the SWM department. So we have started the work. Dead body disposal was at Dhapa. There is a crematorium, and it is used for the unclaimed dead body. And that was the decision taken by the authority. It would be used for the COVID patient. So at that time we are working. At that time, dead body was.
So was it kind of a furnace or as an open?
No, furnace.
I have one very short thing. There's a two water cannon working. You have seen in the city anytime, traveling through the roads. So is it very much costly? Why two? Because for years it is only two, and we do have a report that using mixing cannons in the winter it suspend that particulate material, and it actually effective results.
So actually, yes, you are correct. But in all other, not in India, for other cities like China, they are also using this type of machines. Delhi, they have started this mist cannon because one side it is correct and another side there is no alternative. So that's why we have to use these machines. And the environmentalists, they have also suggested, yes, you do it.
No, sir, my question is only why 2 for years?
2 for year means actually at that time, COVID period, we have procured 2 machines and we used other water sprinklers. So 20 plus 2, 22. Okay. On roads. And other backpack machines, other machines, and they went to the resident and institution everywhere and sprayed for the sanitization purposes. Okay.
Sir, thank you for this informative presentation. I just have one, it is not a question, it is just one observation I'm sharing with you. So you have mentioned about the construction and demolition material. So what we generally see in Kolkata, that is, that is my observation maybe, that is significantly different from obviously the cities of abroad and many cities of India also, that most of the times there is a scaffolding and there is a cover under which the construction and demolition works are occurring. But in Kolkata, in most of the time, since wherever the real estate works are going on, these are happening in open place, and all the dust, even before collecting and sending it to the processing site, they are getting sprayed. So, what is your observation and what came? I understand that there should be a law or something, but what is the level of implementation and how KMC is planning to tackle it? And what is your observation?
We have different departments. There is the building department, and I am working in solid waste management, now transferred to the ADB, Asian Development Bank project. But your question is absolutely correct. Your observation is because, so it should be when the developer gets the sanction plan, his responsibility to cover the materials or skins. Number 2, there are some mist cannons in the form of fogging machines, and these are not working. We have inspected in many vehicles on behalf of solid waste management. We have seen that these are not working. Number 2. Number 3, what we are doing, we are day and night, we are working, we are using this mechanical sweeper as well as the water sprinklers and the mist cannons. That is the only equipment we have for the solid waste management. The responsibility lies with the building department, and they can stop their activity, but I have to stop it.
Only one thing, just a very quick comment. Quick comment regarding this online question, because as you know,
yes,
few online participants are also there. They have registered, so we have to listen to them also. So one question.
The question is
as per the municipal. As per the municipal waste management rule 2016, the transporting vehicles, those who are going to collect the door-to-door collection, are they having 4 different drum which are segregating the waste?
Yes.
In Kolkata?
Yes, we are ready because we have floated the tender, and we know that at present we have 2-way system, and in future we have to go for 4 or 6. That's why in the last tender we have mentioned that there is a clause that if there is some rules implemented in India, then the bidder has to comply the 4-way or 6-way, whatever may be, and the cost will be incurred accordingly. So we are ready. We are ready. We have vehicles. We have compartmentalized vehicles 4 and 6. We are using 6 bins. So I think there will not be a problem.
Okay, thank you. And another last question, that as you have told, if anybody throw any garbage in the public place, they will be fined.
Yes.
And probably he has raised this question that 640 rupees fine someone. If he unable to pay this, then what will be the next step?
Next step is
we should stringently ask for the payment.
Yes.
The fine.
yes. Suppose there is a format and they are the violator. Okay. So first instance, we will issue the format. They will sign it. If they pay, then we will deposit in the treasury. If they don't pay, then we will go to the municipal magistrate court. Okay, so there is a provision as per KMC Act.
Okay. So thank you, the participant, online participant from Alia University. Probably you have got your answer. Otherwise, you may contact with us. We may give you the proper answer because we are running very behind of our schedule. So first of no, it's not. Sorry. Thank you very much, Dr. Chattopadhyay, for an excellent. So you know it's a huge issue. It's very difficult to cover within 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It's a huge issue and most burning issue of our city. You know, each and every day we are facing this. So thank you once again. And now may I request Professor Amit Datta, Professor Civil Engineering Department, Jadavpur University. He will talk upon the wastewater treatment.
Not wastewater treatment, it is living that.
Liquid waste management. Liquid waste management.
Water resource management.
Water resource management. Okay.
কোনটা দিয়ে মুভ করছো বলো তো? এটা দিয়ে হবে না? হ্যাঁ, এটা দিয়ে। এখানে প্রেজেন্টার রয়েছে, আপনি এটা দিয়ে আগে পেছে করতে পারেন। আর যদি এটার এই আছে তো এটা দিয়ে ফরওয়ার্ড, এটা ব্যাকওয়ার্ড। ঠিক আছে, পয়েন্টারটা বলে অন করে বলে ঠিক আছে, পয়েন্টার লাগবে না, পয়েন্টার পয়েন্টারই লাল জাস্ট প্রেস করে পয়েন্টার। I know Subhashish for the last 25 years. I know his capability and I know what he is doing there. Because many a times I have a opportunity to work with him. And I have also some connection with this Ramakrishna Mission Institute of this Narendrapur, because my son passed here from at 2017, and right now, after doing MBBS in AIMS, he is actually doing MCH in Delhi AIMS. So thanks to this institute for building the career of my son. My topic of the discussion is water resource management. This one is a very important topic in India. 70% of our body is made up of water, and 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water, but very less amount of water available for us, fresh water for us for utilization. This is the diagram. From there we can find that amount of fresh water is only 3%, and in this 3% it is distributed in the ice caps and glaciers, 2/3 part of that, and 30% in the groundwater, and only 0.3% as a surface water. And in this 0.3%, only 2% as a river water. So the water on which we depend most, that is 2% of the 0.3% of this 3% of the total water. So it is a very meager amount. And another problem is, who is going to consume that water? We are going to consume that water. And this is the problem of the growth of population. Almost about 350 to 400 years ago, population was 50 crores. Within this period, at present, population is 800 crores. Who is going to supply the water to these people? Direct and indirect. And last 100 years, water consumption has increased 10 times, but we cannot guarantee that in the next 30 years, the supply of water cannot be increased more than 10%. So, this is a serious problem right now. It's really a serious problem. One example, 2019, Chennai went dry for a day, total day. Not a drop of water in their reservoir. This is the pattern of growth of population. Very sharp. And even if the pollution growth is much sharper than the growth of population, and early 1900, it crosses the limit of self-cleansing capacity. So the pollution load is overwhelming the environment, and it's also creating problem to the water resources. After precipitation, part of it, major part of it, stored in the ice caps and glaciers, and one part percolate into the subsurface, replenish the groundwater, and another part overflows in the top, runoff, we call it. This is the surface water. Apart from the surface water and the groundwater, we have to consider the other sources also. As for example, icebergs, wherever possible, very good quality of water we are going to get. And desalination will be our future. Many of the country, Gulf country, at presently depends upon only on this. And the rainwater harvesting. We have to rejuvenate the old age system of rainwater harvesting. And these are the threats of the whatever meager amount of fresh water we have. These are the threats. One is the climate change for global temperature increase, global warming. Another one is the depletion of aquifer due to the over withdrawal of the groundwater, and water pollution due to discharge of municipal sewage and other sewage without any treatment. We are polluting our water resource. Now come to the effect of global warming. The temperature is going to rise. Average temperature is given in that, and the India is in the red zone. So because of that, evaporation rate will be very high. So during summer season, there will be frequent drought. এই শোনো ভাই, আমি কলেজে পড়াই, বকাবকি করার ইভেন কলার ধরে তোলার অভ্যাস এখনো আমার আছে। শোনার ইচ্ছা থাকলে শোনো, না হলে এখান থেকে বেরিয়ে যাও। তোমাদের যেরকম কষ্ট লাগছে সকাল থেকে শুনতে, আমারও তেমনি এই সকাল থেকে এখানে এসে তারপরে এখানে এসে বক বক করতে কষ্ট হচ্ছে। এটা আমাদের একটা বদ অভ্যাস মাস্টারমশাই হওয়ার। আচ্ছা, then as the evaporation rate is high, so definitely during monsoon precipitation rate will be also high, but there will be the reducing of the glaciers and ice caps. They're reducing, their capacity is reducing. So during monsoon, huge amount of rain is going to come to the plain land, and the result is the frequent flooding. Not forget, definitely we have to think about the loss of lives and properties, but just think about the loss of a huge amount of water resource. We cannot utilize one drop of this water. Now, another problem is depletion of aquifers. Huge withdrawal, 30% is stored in the aquifer for the long period of time. Now we are withdrawing it as per our requirement unsustainably. Because of that, the dry well and lowering of groundwater table, and in the coastline there will be saltwater intrusion. Apart from dry well, the frequent change in groundwater table actually leads to the dissolution of arsenic. Out of 160 million, 110 million in the 10 countries in South Asia, including India and Bangladesh, are affected due to arsenic poisoning. Especially in India and Bangladesh, this GMB plain, Ganga Meghna Jamuna basin, is very much affected due to arsenic poisoning. In West Bengal, the eastern part of this Ganga basin is actually very affected. This red mark indicates this. Roughly about 20 million people in the rural area, I'm talking about West Bengal only, and 15 million people in the urban area are affected due to the arsenic poisoning. And also, as we are utilizing the arsenic bearing water for irrigation, so through food chain, it is entering our body. And if we drink the arsenic bearing water with the permissible limit of arsenic, then also out of 100, 1% may have cancer. The limit is only 10 ppb, parts per billion. The result will be this. But fortunately, in the surface water, there is not much arsenic problem. But another curse we have in the groundwater, that is fluoride. Wherever arsenic in India, wherever there will not be arsenic problem, we are facing fluoride problem. Look at that. Most of India have the fluoride problem. Somewhere it is high, somewhere it is less. This is the dental fluorosis, skeletal fluorosis, and also crippling fluorosis. Painful, very painful. So seeing that one, we may think that, okay, we are not going to take the groundwater. We are going to depend on only the surface water. Are you going to drink this? In the surface water, we are polluting by the untreated wastewater. 600 people are dying every day due to water pollution related disease in India. And only 30% in urban area, only 30% of the sewage is being treated and discharged. And other 70% we are discharging untreated. And they are polluting. So whatever bigger amount of surface water we have, 75% are being polluted by this untreated wastewater. So how much we have left? আমাদের হাতে কি আছে? বিড়াল মানে হাতে আর ওই রুমাল ছাড়া কিছু পড়ে নেই কিন্তু। That's why I'm saying this one is a major problem. Maybe the next world war will be for the water. If we look at our mentality and US's mentality, they have more money also. More or less amount of world water 6%. They have also 6%. We have also 6%. But we have 4 times population than USA and 1/3 area of the USA. But they are maintaining their water resources very, very well. I have seen this one. And we are actually at present moment that we have become the water scarce country. That means per capita water availability less than 1,000 meter cube. In 30-40 years ago, it was not like that. 1,700 meter cube easily we had. But right now, if you look at the population growth and the water availability curve, that 2026, this one is around 900 meter cube per capita per year. So India has become the water stressed country. এত বৃষ্টি এত জল থাকা সত্ত্বেও। Now this one is a tentative figure. Kolkata is not out of that. Kolkata is also part of the water stressed area. Now what are the mitigative measures? Problem শুধু বলে গেলে তো হবে না. What are the mitigative measures? These are the main mitigative measures we are going to take, that we have to change our usage pattern. We have to reuse the wastewater and the agricultural runoff, and also the artificial recharge of groundwater, desalination of brackish water or seawater, and also we have to rejuvenate the rainwater harvesting. Now, recycling of wastewater. কি করব? What are the wastewater generated from the city? First we have to treat it, and then part of it we can utilize in the factory for their house cleaning purpose. And also the green belt development. Also we can put it into the streams for the development of the biodiversity, and also we can use for irrigation and groundwater recharge, and part of it we can utilize in the same city for the landscape development, and also treatment, also flushing of toilets, cleaning of sewage. We can utilize these things, and the rest of the things we can discharge into the stream as a for the self-cleansing purpose or self-cleaning purpose, and after self-cleaning we can run this cycle also for utilization again after treatment. Lots of effort has been taken for the Ganga Action Gap 2 after Namami Gange. So for the industrial and the municipal wastewater treatment should be done totally, and ghat developments and river surface cleaning procedures we have to do, and other things we have to do for cleaning the Ganga, cleaning the water, not only Ganga and the tributaries. After mostly biological treatment for the larger wastewater treatment plant, the wastewater will be reutilized or discharged to the river. These are the few common biological treatment units: activated sludge plant and the trickling filter. These are aeration process, and the anapsic process is a SBR, sequential batch reactor, and the waste stabilization pond. This is the almost you can say a natural system, but we have to enhance the environmentally to enhance the system so that it can work fast. This is in and around Kolkata. What are the different treatment plants? Wastewater treatment plants are there, major treatment plants are there. This is a Garden Rich, Kashipur, South Suburban, that means in Haridevpur, Kaurapukur, Haridevpur, and the Shamnagar. This 60 mld, 40 mld, and 10 mld. These are the wastewater STPs are there. Even if in the Howrah areas also, we have more than 60 mlds in Bali and Arupara area. And in the East Kolkata wetlands, the EKW. In that, we are using the earlier, whatever we have, we mainly use that aeration system of biological system of treatment. In this EKW, that means East Kolkata wetland, we are utilizing the waste stabilization pond system. This area is more or less 12,500 hectare, and compared to that 60, 30, 10, here we are treating almost 750 to 900 MLD, million liter per day of wastewater. And not only that, we have developed fisheries from this. So we are not only the cleaning the environment, also we are helping the economy to the local people to develop this thing. They are supplying fish to local Calcutta markets. And another one is the industrial area. Whatever the liquid discharge, we are trying to achieve the zero discharge. It's difficult, but I am giving one example. Boj thermal power plant. They have achieved zero discharge. That means after its treatment, this water they are using their house cleaning purposes. There in the factory, their cleaning purposes, etc., they are utilizing, and their greenwell development. That means they are not only reducing the water requirement, but also they are not discharging any polluted water to the nearby water bodies. So this one is also very important. And we have to change our irrigation method. Directly, we are utilizing maybe 135 liters per capita per day, but indirectly, maybe we are taking the 3,000 liters per day from the irrigation, because for the irrigation, we need most amount of water. 70% of water is total water is needed for irrigation purpose only. So we have to change our irrigation, that rather than furrow irrigation, in which water loss is more, we have to go for the drip irrigation or surge irrigation system. Definitely the techno-economic viability we have to check, but if we have to reduce the water consumption, we have to go for drip irrigation and furrow irrigation. Drip irrigation and the surge irrigation. And the water metering system. Definitely we have to adapt these things. Government আসে যায় চলে যায়, কিন্তু ওই কে ভোট দেবে না, কে মিউনিসিপ্যাল ইলেকশনে জিতবো কি জিতবো না, সেই জন্য আমরা এটা অ্যাডাপ্ট করি না। কিন্তু এটা অ্যাডাপ্ট করার সময় এসছে, বিকজ ইট অ্যাকচুয়ালি রিডিউসেস দ্য ওয়াটার লসেস। So we have to utilize these things, and we know that in this urban area, a huge amount of the households are there. So wireless systems we have to use to collect the data from the water usage data and the water distillation, maybe desalination. Maybe in Kolkata area, you may think right now it is not needed. Yes, in Kolkata area right now it is not needed. But think about in the coastal area, Sundarban, Boshirat, etc. Already these things are existing for the last 10 years. They have the RO system. So this is our future. So we have to develop these things for desalination of water, because in the sea or brackish water, total quantity of water is 97%, and the population is increasing. Almost in 50 years, population becoming double. So who is going to supply the water, precious water? Because our body needs at least 70% of body weight is water. And the last one is the groundwater. Recharge. Rainwater harvesting. Just I have when I came here, then that time I seen that already they have talked about the rainwater harvesting. This one is very important, old age system, but we have to rejuvenate these things. Apart from the direct use, indirectly we can that recharge the groundwater. One way is the for Kolkata system, as we have a very thick clay layer, top clay layer, and that's why the partially submerged well system for the ponds, perforated well system, which actually transfer the certain level of water to the aquifer, and also deep tube well system to put the water in the aquifer. But we have to be very careful that this water should not be the contaminated water. Otherwise, whatever precious groundwater we have, we may contaminate the precious groundwater. তোমাদের বকার জন্য দুঃখিত আর থ্যাংক ইউ রিয়েলি ফর ইয়োর প্রেশাস হিয়ারিং
Thank you very much, Professor Doctor. Hello. So first of all, I am sorry because as this session was on solid waste and wastewater, that is why I made three times mistake.
আমি এটাকে মডিফাই করে দেখুন খানিকটা বেশ খানিকটা ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটার
No, it's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so now the session is open for discussion. Any question? Yes.
এটা বন্ধ হচ্ছে না গো
Sir, you have mentioned that there is a Bojboj thermal plant. There are wastewater, and the wastewater is used in household course.
Household means not that normal household. That means not for normal household. Means in our we are not using for their housekeeping. Actual term will be the housekeeping purpose. In a factory shed, we have to clean it. In many purpose, we have to use certain amount of water as a cooling water. So for all this, and also for the gardening purpose, they must have certain percentage. It is actually the norms has said that 30% of area should be green area. So for that purpose, they have to utilize that quantity of water. They are utilizing these things, and their discharge of water is almost nil wastewater. That after treatment, whatever wastewater they are generating, প্রথমে তোমার কোশ্চেনটা পুরোটা শুনে নেওয়া উচিত ছিল। আই এম সরি।
It was my question যে আমরা যদি ট্রিটমেন্ট না করি ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটারটার তাহলে আমরা কিভাবে জিনিসটাকে ম্যানেজ করব?
ট্রিট করছি আমরা ট্রিট করার পরে আফটার ট্রিটিং দ্য ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটার আফটার the maintaining certain limit, then we are utilizing these things. যেরকম আমি বললাম যে আমরা ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটারটাকে মিউনিসিপাল বাড়ি থেকে যেই ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটার গুলো বের হয়, that also we are treating in this waste water treatment system, and we can reuse it for the housekeeping purpose, for the landscaping purpose. ধরো যেই ওয়াটারটা আমার ড্রিঙ্কিং পারপাসে যেই ওয়াটার কোয়ালিটি দরকার, আমার সেম ওয়াটার কোয়ালিটি ইজ নট নিডেড ফর দ্য our greenery purpose or green belt development or landscaping purpose or irrigation purpose or for fisheries purpose. So we can utilize that purpose. And whenever we utilize these things for groundwater recharge, groundwater aquifer is so deep, so while it passes to the soil layer, then all the pollutants will be absorbed and only the clean water will reach the groundwater table.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any other question from the audience?
টাকার কথা নয়, 5টা বেজে গেছে, 5:15 বাজে।
5:30 পর্যন্ত থাকি স্যার। এমন কিছু দেরি হয়নি, এখন তো সান আছে আকাশে, সন্ধে হয়নি। আমরা সেশন এর আগে ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কনফারেন্স হলো 7টা 7:30 পর্যন্ত, 8টা পর্যন্ত চলেছে। So any other question? It's an excellent talk. Any other question from the online participant? No question. So it's an excellent talk.
I must thank Professor Pramit Gupta, for agreeing to speak. For agreeing to speak at a very, very short notice. In fact, only day before yesterday, I requested him to speak. Any other person would have refused, but he agreed, and I am personally grateful to him. Thank you so much.
আসলে এই বয়সে না আমি আর কিছুদিন পর রিটায়ার করব, কোথাও যাই না বলতে। আমার কাছে আমি যদি 7 দিনের নোটিশ পেতাম, তাহলে আমি ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটার একদম ডিটেল ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটারটা নিয়েই হয়তো আমি একটা তৈরি করে ফেলতে পারতাম, কিন্তু এই একদিনের নোটিশে এই বয়সে আর মানে পেরে উঠি না, ভালো লাগে না।
Actually, we had requested someone else, and he is stuck up in China. So he had to return, but his flight has been diverted somewhere. He told me that he is not able to come. I requested him to please present it online, but somehow he couldn't do it.
আমরা পড়াই ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটার, আমি পড়াই কলেজে, কিন্তু স্লাইড গুলো তো বানাতে হবে। আর আমি তোমাদের মতো কম বয়সী নই যে চ্যাট জিপিটি দিয়ে টাক 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 করে আমি স্লাইড গুলো বানিয়ে ফেললাম, তারপরে এখানে চলে এলাম। সেই এফিসিয়েন্সিটা আমার নেই, তোমাদের আছে।
That is given excellent overview, and we really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Professor Dotto and Dr. Chattopadhyay. So, I may request all of you, two of the speaker to come up to the dais, because certificate we have to give the appreciation certificate. So first, I will hand over the certificate on behalf of the organizing committee, Dr. Subhashish Chattopadhyay, for his excellent talk. Now, Professor Datta. Thank you. Now, let's go. Thank you very much. For me, it's a great opportunity to chair this session, though I am very much young than two of our speakers, both in terms of age and also in experience. So that is why thank you very much to both of them for joining with us and giving excellent talk and enrich us with data and management aspect. So many things we have learned. Thank you very much once again for coming over our RKM Berry. Thank you very much. Now the next announcement.
So with this, we have come to the end of technical session 4, marking the close of the technical session for day 1 of the seminar. I extend our sincere gratitude to our respected session chair, Dr. Sudipto Tripathi sir, for his thoughtful guidance. And I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to respected Dr. Subhashish Chattopadhyay sir and respected Dr. Amit Datta sir for their insightful presentation and valuable contributions. So, as our technical session ends today, I have a few announcements to make regarding tomorrow's schedule. There have been slight changes as according to the provided schedule, the session 6 is quite long. So the session 6 will start from 11 a.m. So the 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. time slot for refreshments have been shifted to 9:45 a.m. So all the participants are requested to come by 9:45 a.m. and have the refreshments and be seated in the seminar hall by 10 a.m. And we'll start the day 2 seminar from 10 a.m. itself. Thank you. And session 1. Sorry, extremely sorry, session 5. Thank you, everyone.